Well, hello and welcome to our podcast.
Yep.
I'm here with my beautiful bride, Nancy, and I'm Ed Kendrick. I'm the pastor of Heartland Church in Winter Haven, and we're just a couple of real people talking about real life and trying to provide a few real answers and having hopefully a little fun along the way.
Lots of fun.
And bringing some information to you all that'll be helpful in your lives, and sort of inviting you into our living room, if you will, and just hearing our thoughts on a few things. Now, the way this works is that you guys make comments as we go along, and hopefully you'll send some questions in of things that you would like us to talk about. And so today we have a topic. We don't know what the topic is. We're going to read a card in just a moment, and we're going to dive into this thing and just pray that it's something we can deal with. So, Nancy, I'm going to give you the honors today. So you pick the card, you read us the question, and let's see what we're going to talk about.
All right. Here we go. Here we go. Are there any situations where you think it's acceptable to lie?
Oh, gosh.
Yes. When I say, do I look good? Does this outfit look good? Does my hair look good? Do these shoes look good with this outfit?
This is going to be
I think you have lied before about that.
I think this might be the shortest podcast in the history of podcasts.
Oh, gosh. Does anything I do, Nancy, annoy you? No, not at all. That would be a lie.
Well.
Okay, Pastor.
Okay. Well, you know, the theological answer is going to be, from a pastor, I mean, the theological answer is going to be, no, you don't lie. I mean, when you lie about things, that then usually that leads to more lies, because you're always trying to cover up stuff,
Right.
and it makes you're living under this constant weight of stress and anxiety, because you're trying to remember what you said and you're trying to cover it up.
You're trying to get angles of how I can keep this lie going and try to cover it up. That would just, to me, take up your entire life.
Yeah, I'm going to make sure I understand exactly how this is worded. Are there any situations where you think it's acceptable to lie?
I would say if you follow God's word, I mean, you cannot lie.
Well,
You cannot legitimately lie.
Right. And so with that being said, oh gosh, this is really hard. But I think that, a lie with the purpose of harming someone, or a lie for the purpose of deceiving someone.
Right.
Obviously, I think those things are wrong.
Right.
I think you always need to be truthful. Mm-hmm. However, with that being said, there are situations in life where, someone's having a birthday and it's a surprise party, and you have to tell them something that's not true so that you don't ruin their party. I don't think there's deceitfulness in that, or some, intention that's not honorable in that. And it's in a case like that, I think it might be okay to say, no, we're going to their house because we're going to eat dinner. Are you guys planning something? No, we're not planning anything at all. We're just going to eat dinner.
Or how about, do you know, if you know I do not like surprise parties? I'm not saying that about myself. I love surprise parties. But if someone said, hey, I don't care for surprise parties, do you know if they're planning a surprise party for me?
I would say, I don't know anything.
I'm going to say, I don't know.
Yeah, I think,
say,
I think this is all about being real And I think sometimes that you have to do things like that. And
Right.
and I think, there are always going to be people that'll hear this conversation and they'll watch this and, oh, well, that's just theologically, you can't do that. Well, okay, great. Theologically, no, you can't tell a lie. I'm not going to dishonor God by telling some lie that is going to break some, big oath or something. But in life, these kind of things that we're talking about, I think we do that all the time. I think sometimes it's necessary to tell your children something maybe in a way that it's not exactly the truth,
Right.
but maybe they're not ready to receive the truth. They're not,
Right.
It's not age appropriate or something like that for them to receive the truth. Now, you can craft that and say that in a way, and I think that's, being a parent, you just have to figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
But I think sometimes that you have to bend the truth in certain situations where it's in an honorable way. It's difficult for me to figure out how to say that, but like the birthday party example.
Right. And I might be flipping the pancake over to a different meaning of lying, but I feel like in a relationship, and I'm going to say, for this example, a husband and wife, that you should never, ever lie to one another. I don't think there would be ever a reason for that. On a serious note,
Yeah.
we've talked about joking or a birthday party. We use that as an example, but I think in a relationship, you should never have secrets and you should never lie.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think that it's one thing. There's sort of like there's these two things. There's this I'm surprising you, where this is legitimately for a good, fun kind of a reason thing that I'm just not telling the truth right at the moment because it'll spoil the surprise. It'll spoil that great thing that we're going to do. But I think when you're dealing with life in a serious way and you're dealing with those serious things, that you always tell the truth. And in relationships, I think it's incredibly important to tell the truth.
Right.
Because but the moment that you don't, and it's a serious thing, the moment you lie, well, then trust has been broken and it's been destroyed. And not to say that trust can't ever be regained, but it might take a whole lot of work and time to
Because
get
I can
back there.
promise you, the way that I am wired, if you lied to me about a serious thing, the next thing I asked you and you answered it, I would wonder if it was a lie.
Yeah, if I was being...
That's where my mind goes.
Yeah.
I'm not everybody, but I'm going to say as a woman,
Right.
that my mind would go to that. That is he lying?
Well, when you talk about a subject like this, this is one of those you're sort of dancing on this it's like a wire, and you're sort of balancing yourself on the wire because the scriptures, like when you think about God and what He has to say about this. He said, literally, there's a passage of scripture that says that liars will not inherit the kingdom of heaven.
Right.
It's like you don't go to heaven if you're a liar. And then you have to sort of stop and go, okay, wait a minute, let's put this in context. What does that mean? If I lie to somebody about, we're having that surprise birthday party and I lie about that, I think that's not even part of the conversation. That's a different kind of a thing. But I think that if it's life and it's serious things in life, it's not to cover up a little surprise that you're going to do, and you're going to give them the truth in a short period of time, or if you're dealing with a child and that child isn't ready maybe to receive that because of their age or whatever in the way they ask the question, I think it's okay to in those cases to talk about that. I don't want to say to lie.
Well, you could even tell
I want to say fib, but that doesn't make it any less significant, does it?
a white lie. No. But, you could tell your child, as your dad, as your mom, we do not feel like you're ready
That's probably the best answer.
to
That's
hear.
a good answer. You were such a better parent than I am.
I know. Well, I'm a mom. No. But I think that would be the way to go with that.
Yeah.
Because you never want your child to not trust you.
If it's a serious thing.
Yeah, you never want that
Right.
You want to always be truthful with your kids.
Yeah, you do. But then, you think about things like, and I know people have different positions on this.
Gonna
And
go in that.
Yeah, we don't want to offend, someone if their position is different on this. You've got your position. This isn't
Let's just say holiday things.
Yes.
Don't be specific.
No. This isn't about getting to heaven or getting to hell or anything like that, or going to hell because you say this. But there are people. We did this with our family, and we think it's perfectly okay. But Santa Claus was something that we talked about at our house with our daughter,
right.
And we told her there was a Santa Claus for a long time when she was a little kid.
But what did we teach her about that holiday? What was the main thing? What did we instill in her that happened at that time? And that was the main reason for what we were
celebrating. We always, as Christians, we always talked about the birth of Christ. We always talked about Easter, about the resurrection, and about Jesus and the significance of all those things. But we would always, those fictitious little characters.
Right.
And now I'm probably... Please, I hope your children aren't watching this with you. If they are, I just probably messed up somebody's life. But or you've got some splaining to do, so to speak.
Or editing to do.
Yeah, but I just think that in those kind of cases that there's just things like that it's not I just don't see that as a lie, as the description in the passage in the Bible that says that liars. And by the way, just to clarify that passage, because I am a pastor, I do need to do that. That doesn't mean if you ever tell a lie that you're not going to inherit the kingdom of heaven. That is speaking to a lifestyle.
Right.
It's speaking to someone that is habitually a liar.
Right.
That they've been the truth all the time.
That's your character.
Yeah. So I think that anytime you're being dishonest, you're trying to bend a situation or twist something in some manner that just so it benefits you, or so that you don't get in trouble, for instance, or so that there's some gain that comes to you because you're telling something that's not true, and you're doing it in a malicious way with bad will and not the right intent. That's a sinful thing. That is obviously.
Do you remember what I know? My mother used to say, and yours probably did. If you'll lie, you will steal and cheat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's true.
That's probably a Polk County thing.
I don't know.
But I grew up hearing that. Yeah. So it was like it was grouped together. That was your character.
Yeah, and I think
and that's not a good
thing. Yeah, I think
that's not good character.
I think that's probably what parents. Well, I know your mom. I know that's probably what she was saying. Is she was just saying that that's a terrible trait to have.
Right.
And quite frankly, if you think about what you just said about lying and cheating and stealing, it's a lot easier to lie. You can do it on just in the moment. It's a lot easier to do that than it is to maybe cheat or to steal.
Right.
Those things you put a little thought into. Sometimes a lie can just happen, and you've got to be careful. But she was basically, I think, speaking to character, and I think it does speak to characters, but to characters and your character.
But I promise you that if you say, Nancy, I'm taking you to Tampa, but we end up in Italy, I will not be angry that you told that little lie. I promise. I will not hold that against you at all, ever.
Well, I promise you that if I tell you I'm taking you to Italy, it probably is a lie. So
it would be a lie.
At least right now. But I think that it's I think it's how you define it. I think the big thing is how you define it. What are you calling a lie, and what is and I think it goes back to this. It goes back to what's behind it. What's behind what's taking place? What's your heart in this? I'm just being honest. I mean, there's lots of times in my life that I have told a lie to protect someone for a moment. And then to make it right. And then you make it right. Maybe there's somebody else that needs to be part of that conversation or something, but to protect them from harm or something like that. It's really a tightrope that you walk.
Right.
I mean, theologically, I would tell you don't lie. The truth is always the best, because the way, you know how I always say this, it's like anytime you tell a lie or anytime you're not truthful with someone, when you're having serious conversations, when it's about real life, real stuff, and you lie to someone, then you have entered into this place where now you've got to always remember that lie.
It's exhausting. It would be exhausting.
Yeah, because the next conversation, and then it's like I always say this way, when you tell lies or even when there's other things in life that aren't lies, that things that are little issues that come up in a relationship or something, and you sweep it under the rug, you kind of sweep it under the rug. Well, after a while, you sweep a lot of stuff under a rug, there's a hump in the rug. Right. Somebody's going to trip over that at some point in time, and then it's all going to come out, and it's going to be a problem. So
I know myself when I've been asked something, a lot of times I say, okay, I want to be honest with you. I cannot answer that question right now.
That's a great answer. Yeah.
That's the way I do it.
Yeah.
You know, I just say, I'm just going to be honest. I can't go there. I can't answer that question right now.
Yeah.
It is not my place to answer it. It's not my business to answer it. So I'm just going to be upfront about it.
Right.
And it's been very well received so far. Instead of just acting like you're hiding something, or you get upset that they've asked you something that they probably should not have. I just say, just be honest.
This conversation can go a lot of directions, but I will say this. I think that's great what you just said, and I know that there have been times in our relationship where I've said, Nancy, I can't tell you this right now, but you're going to have to trust me.
Right.
But now let's stop there for a moment.
Okay.
There has to be a relationship there where you look at me and go, I trust you. Mm-hmm. You know, I think a lot of problems.
Because you've always been honest with me.
Yeah, you've
not ever lied to me.
And so if I'm honest, and over time, it's like that old thing you talk about with relationships, where it's like a bank account. You make deposits and withdrawals into that bank account. If I'm always truthful with you, even sometimes when it's difficult to be truthful, and I'm truthful, it adds capital. It puts something into that bank account. And so when it get to that point to where I say, I can't answer this. If I answer this right now, you will understand this later. But if I do this right now, it might hurt your feelings. If I understand this right now, it's not going to sound right or whatever. Will you trust me? Will you give me a little bit more time so that I can give you the full explanation or whatever? Well, if there's enough capital accumulated in that account, you're going to go, I trust you because you've not let me down before.
And to be honest, I respect that from you. It builds your character in my feelings towards you, because I know you're being upfront, you're being honest, and you're not trying to pull something over on me. You're just being honest, and it does. It builds character, I think, and strength in our marriage. Right.
So I think that there's sort of two lanes we're on here a little bit. One is, the question is, well, I'll just make sure I read it exactly the same way that it's read here. The question is, are there any situations where you think it's acceptable to lie? Well, that if I were to answer that question, I would say yes, there are. Those little situations where
the lighthearted.
It's things. Lighthearted things that's you're getting that person to that surprise party and you're telling them you're going somewhere else, or the thing with the holidays and your kids or whatever, something like that. I guess you could start debating what the definition of a lie is. Mm-hmm. There's that, and then there's the serious part of life where it's about stuff that it's just about the things of life and being truthful and being honest. And then there probably needs to be part of this conversation about that, okay, if you need to be truthful and you shouldn't lie, and you should not be obviously habitual liar because they don't inherit heaven. I mean, we see that in the Word of God. Lies are serious business. Right. And if you're not supposed to lie, then there needs to be a conversation, maybe here, maybe some other time, but there needs to be a conversation about then how do I communicate effectively when it's uncomfortable to communicate,
right.
And when I have to say something that's hard, when I have to say something that's difficult, without lying. How do I do that in a way that's respectable, in a way that doesn't destroy a relationship or those kind of things.
And this could be a whole nother area we're
going to get so many questions. You know that.
I know.
I
know. And it's going to be your fault because you. But I won't go there. I'm just being honest. Is why do you feel the need to lie?
That's a great
That
question.
could be a whole nother thing we could talk about at another time.
Right.
But why do you feel that need? There's something going on big time. If you feel the need, you have to always lie, that you can't tell the truth. So.
Yeah, and why do you? And again, I mean, weighing the situation and circumstances and the lighthearted kind of things and
right.
what's serious. But then even in since we're talking about it, you just throw it out there. I mean, we were watching a television program last night about a hospital and about doctors, and a patient asked a doctor a question, and this person is going to die, and the person's wife or husband has walked down to the lobby or to the cafeteria to get a cup of coffee, and the doctor's standing there, and this question is asked: should that doctor say, yes, you're going to die, or should they say, what should they do? I think it's those moments where we learn to have conversations where you want to tell the truth, and I guess you defer it and say, let's wait to
do everything I can to prevent that.
We'll talk
from
about
happening.
it more when your husband gets back with the coffee or whatever. But
Maybe
you
this
have
should
those
have been. Is there a reason to lie, or should I just make it easy, or should I always be blunt?
Yeah. But I think that it's how you define how you define a lie has a lot to do with this. I mean, again, those little things that you do when you're having fun and you're trying. I don't know that it's not something that you're doing that's causing someone harm. It's not something that you intend to cause them harm. It's not something you're doing for some kind of illicit gain for yourself. It's not something you're doing with any malintent
or
deceit or anything like that. It's just in the moment, in that little fun time, you're trying to, not surprise, ruin the surprise or whatever. I think something like this, okay. Otherwise, a lie's a lie, and you should always tell the truth. We don't always get this right. None of us. I think we need to say that. I mean, we talked about earlier that you can trust me because I don't lie to you. I know that I can trust you because you don't lie to me. We've been married, as we've said before. We've been married for going on 46 years, and it would be a lie to say that neither one of us have ever lied to each other in that time. And there have been times when we've lied to each other, and we don't make it a habit to do that. But there have been times we have, and it's been hurtful when we've done that. There's been tears shed over that in the course of our relationship. But what I'm really grateful for and really thankful for is that because we've been married for such a long time, that we have, I think we have incredible communication. We talk about
that's number
everything.
one, I think.
Yeah, and even when something might be a little hurtful, I think we've been together long enough to realize that it's better sometimes to just look at the other person and go, I'm going to tell you this. This is going to hurt your feelings. Mm-hmm. I know it is. Because I've lived with you for a long time. I
usually say, don't tell me.
Or, just lie to me. But I think that it's just a good idea if we can bring this to relationships for a moment. In relationships, to have open, honest communications.
Right.
Just say it. Usually, when there's something that you have to say, it's not a gigantic thing usually. It's a small thing.
Right.
But if you don't say it and you don't talk about it, then over time it can become a really big thing. Or if you lie about it, now it really becomes
Right.
a big thing.
Right.
So tough question. And, this is a tough one. But the short answer is it's never appropriate to lie in the sense of lying with the wrong kind of intent, all that stuff we talked about. It's never okay. It's a serious offense. Scripture says it's a serious offense. Scripture, again, says that if a person lives a habitual lifestyle of lying, that person will not inherit the kingdom of heaven. That's about as serious in my book as it gets.
Right.
And so, in those cases, no. I know we've talked all around this, and I know we've just talked all around it, but I hope it's given you some insight, some wisdom, and throw your comments out there. Let us know what you think. If you think we've lost our minds, say you've lost your mind. If you think that if you're right there with us and living right there and struggling with the same kind of things, let us know you're struggling. If you've got a question, let us know that.
Yeah.
I think
Answer it as honestly as we can.
Yeah. And part of this whole thing with us right here is to let all of you guys know, and we want you to see, we say this, we're real people with doing real life with you, just like you every day, and we're trying to provide real answers. We want to always provide scripturally accurate answers. We want to do that, but none of us live perfect lives. And we're all just trying to figure out this journey together. And if we can help you do that a little bit better, then we're happy and we've accomplished our mission, right? Right. Well, we hope this has been helpful, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, take it easy.